Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to another edition of Afterthoughts, brought to you by the Good Samaritan House, a nonprofit organization. As always, we'd like to thank God once again for giving us the opportunity to come into your living rooms and into your hearts with good news and glad tidings. Again, I'm Reverend Braxton Berkley. I have a very special guest today, but we rarely start our shows. We never start our shows without doing a scripture, and the scripture coming from Proverbs, the 19:29 verse. Without vision, the people perish. I have a very special guest today. I met him some weeks ago, Mr. Lewis Perry, and the show is really going to be getting to know Lewis Perry in depth. And just exactly, welcome again to Afterthought, Lewis. It's a pleasure. I enjoy talking to you because very seldom do you meet a person with a kindred spirit, they say, and you have a very kindred spirit with me and yourself. And the viewing audience would like to know, if you want to make an open statement, you're welcome before I get into the questioning.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.
The viewing audience would like to know, since I know so much about you, what do you do for a living? What number one?
Well, I own a private security company called Mainland Best Security based out of Los Angeles. I also produce a cable show on the same cable network called the All Things Positive Show. I work very hard.
Yeah, you are a hard worker. I was just questioning Lewis before we came on camera. And matter of fact, I watched this TV show. I was going through the channels one day, and I seen him talking to I forget was a lady or a man, but it was a very interesting show. And I thought to myself at the time, the man is going to go a long way in public relations and PR as far as cable network. He'll even go a step further. But you have a passion for what now?
My passion is just for just giving people the word. I'm not a minister, a preacher, or a reverend, but I just, I love people. I love humanity. I love seeing people progress. I love sharing with people that may not be going the straight line, maybe to the right or to the left. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect, right. But I found a formula that works for me right now, and it's doing well by me and my family. Well, see, you got the perfect ingredients. When I hear a man or a woman says God first in their family, they're automatically on the right track, because we were having a discussion in the green room, and I was saying, your mind is clear. So if your mind is clear, your heart's got to be clear in the direction you want to care. And that rubs off on people. That rubs off. People recognize that. And, you by precept and example, that's what you're doing. You were explaining to me a few minutes ago that I asked you how many people you were supervising in your security company, and you said 120. Well, you got to remember that you supplying employment for 120 individuals. Now, understand, each one of those individuals got their own personal life. They got family to take care of. If it wasn't for you being there as a supervisor or your business, that's 120 people wouldn't have employment. So you've got a great responsibility, and it's a blessing that you could do that you have the wherewithal to keep your company going. What's the name of your company? Mainland Best Security, based out of Los Angeles.
Right. Right, well, that's good. Okay, so we know a little bit about your passions. One thing, I'm not going to leave this set without you giving some credence to your wife and your children,
okay,
their
absolutely.
Names. And
I have a beautiful, wonderful wife named Paulina. She's from Ecuador. I have a beautiful son named Justin, who is 9 years old. I have a 5-year-old named Adam, and a 15-year-old named Mirage Perry.
Adams, Mirage, yeah. Well, you know what? You were telling me the last time we did a show with Marie Ventura that you're sitting in a parochial school, private school?
Yes, my kids go to private school.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, And I know that by you being an example, that they're getting all of the good education they can possibly get. And, it's another area that you're real good at working, like working a room. Mm-hmm. Politicians, your favorite
Well, my favorite politician, well, let me say two things. One is I love people.
Right.
If you love people sincerely, mm-hmm. you meet people, and life is full of funny. For me, it's been very interesting. I really have to say that. And then I'll get to the politician thing. An example of that is, for some reason, God has always put people in my. I could look at a magazine and say, wow, I'd like to meet that person, or I want to write that person. And the next day, boom, that person's right there. Let me give you a perfect example of that. 3 years ago, I wrote a very, very powerful woman that's the head of NBC. And what happened was, you know, I didn't get no correspondence. You know, I got her assistant that called me back. We talked. Nothing ever flourished. Last night, I was at a concert at Universal Amphitheater. And I valet parked my car, and as I was leaving the concert, there was a lady directly in front of me that turned at me. She smiled. I smiled back. I looked in her face and said, I know who you are. And she extended her hand with a nice smile. I introduced myself to her. And to make a long story short, it was Paula Madison, the general manager and president of NBC. We had a very, very powerful lady. We had a very nice conversation, and I told her I would call her this Monday, to pitch an idea that I have for her. But to make a long story short, you have to make opportunities. You have to be able to recognize opportunities and make them. Now, to answer your question, to get back to your question, politicians, Alex Padilla is doing a great job for the city. Antonio Villaraigosa, to me, I think he's going to be the superstar of the world eventually. I really think he's going to go far. He's a great mayor and a good person. Maria Ventura is doing a great job for the city. Cindy Montanez, Senator Alarcon, wonderful, wonderful people that I have gotten to know that have really made a major impact in Los Angeles. And of course, you know, Bush has been great to me. Everybody has been wonderful to me. I've had a very, very lucky, maybe blessed, and put myself in that opportunity life. Those are the people I respect the most as politicians.
But you know, everybody that you mentioned in your statement there, if you notice, they all have one trait, and it makes them very applicable to dealing with people. They're great communicators.
This is correct.
You feel like they're talking directly to you. Senator Alarcon, Alex Padilla, Tony Cardenas, Marie Ventura, you yourself, you know, and that's because I believe that they want to further their careers, but they want to, like you said a few minutes ago, they want to be honest when they talk to people, you know, and I believe they'll look you in the eye and they'll tell you what they can do, what they can't do, and if you're in a lot of mental pain or psychological pain or whatever about a situation in the community, they'll let you know that they feel that too, and they'll do everything in their power to help rectify that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you talked about your favorite politician, your concerns for humanity, your passion, your family. Now, you add all that up, and it adds up to one thing: your goal. What is your goal?
Well,
let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
This occurred to me.
Sure.
Have you ever thought about running for a political office? That question just occurred to me as I was asking that question.
Well, let me tell you, I'm the type of person that I really don't predict the future too far in advance when it comes to that. The one thing that I do predict is to be a good father to my kids, and